dem Schorbe mit den Leviosen werden wir essen. Auf der Sonne, jo. Und wer wird uns teure Sorgen auf der Sonne, jo? Rabbeinu wird uns teure Sorgen, dem Jain am Schummer werden wir trinken, dem Schorbe mit den Leviosen werden wir essen. Auf der Sonne, jo. Und wer nur wird uns spielen, auf der Sonne, jo. Rabbeinu wird uns teure Sorgen, dem Jain am Schummer werden wir trinken, dem Schorbe mit den Leviosen werden wir essen. Auf der Sonne, jo. Und wer wird uns Chochmisse sagen, auf der Sonne, jo. Rabbeinu wird uns teure Sorgen, im Jain am Schummer werden wir trinken, dem Schorbe mit den Leviosen werden wir essen. Auf der Sonne, jo. Und wer wird uns tanzen auf der Sonne, jo? Schleime, Melech wird uns Chochmes sorgen, Dofi, Melech wird uns zielen, Moishe, Rabbeinu wird uns teure Sorgen, dem Jain am Schummer werden wir trinken, dem Schorbe mit den Leviosen werden wir essen. Auf der Sonne, wenn ich nehm der Monnen sie sich noch mein Städtele. Mein Jugend hab ich doch verbracht in dem. Das Gessene, das Schuliche, wie herzig und wie schön. Das Bäumele, das Milchel, weil ich es vernossen. Oh, denk ich, soll noch die Kaiser. Es geht doch nicht weg an Nacht der Tag. Und nur ich tracht von dir, und nur ich träum von dir. Von dir, du Leben meins, du hast in mir. Du, meine שוחט למלאך המובז שול שוריק שול סורה שול מאיה
He's like, oh, I'll just sit in between the side. Okay, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. Page 31. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. So good to be here. So good to see you all. What a wonderful. We had told everybody that the air quality was very bad, and that if you didn't feel like you could come out, that you should really stay home. And I hope that many people did stay home if they didn't feel comfortable. And I hope that you're watching us online, and that you're enjoying Shabbat from the live stream. As Rabbi James said, the Shabbat Malka, the Shabbos presence, the Shabbos Queen, is still with you. But so nice to see so many people here in the sanctuary also, and get to welcome in Shabbat here on 30th Street. So let me just say hello. Is there anybody new or here for the first time in a long time? And you could just raise your hand and just, yeah. Would you mind? Yeah, please, just you can tell us your name and where you're coming from this evening. Hi, my name is Andy. I haven't been here in about 6 years. Okay. Andy, who you haven't been here in 6 years. Fantastic. Shabbat Shalom. So happy to have you. And right next to you, we also have a few new people. Yes, yes. Eli. And Eli, how old are you? 5. So happy to have you, Eli. Eli, is it your first time here? I haven't been here before, so yes. Okay, yes. Indeed, yes. Excellent. And are you with somebody who's also here for the first time? I've been here for the second time. Okay, second time. And what's your name? Tell us your name. Amy, and are you both with Logan? Yes. Okay, well, we're very happy to have all three of you. Shabbat Shalom. Anybody else here for the first time or first time in a long time? Okay, fantastic. In that case, let's welcome in Shabbat, and I'd like to ask Larry Finkelstein to come up and light the Shabbat candles. Larry is providing rugelach this evening after Shabbat services in honor of his mom's yortzeit. So Larry, we're very grateful always when you provide rugelach, and please bring in Shabbat with just that amount of sweetness. Page 38. Please rise in body or in spirit to welcome in the angels of Shabbat, page 40.
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Everybody say Shabbat Shalom to your neighbor who's here in person. Maybe somebody you know, maybe somebody you don't know. Shabbat Shalom to all those online. I hope everybody is staying safe, both with the air and also be careful of the salad greens and washing all your berries and all that. And we want everyone to be as safe and as healthy as possible.
By not eating salad or breathing air.
No, of course not. No.
Yeah.
You know. Right, at least, right, exactly. We need to. How's the apocalypse by you all, as you know, as they say. But at least we have Shabbat. That part doesn't change, and Shabbat comes in whether or not you're outside in the air or inside, hopefully in the wonderful space surrounded by community, either in person or community online as well. We're going to begin Shabbat with page 52, Lechuna Ranana. Let's do a little singing, a little welcoming. Page 54.
Yismechu hashamayim v'tagel haaretz yiram hayam umelon. Yismechu hashamayim v'tagel
Please rise in body or in spirit, page 62.
Mizmor leDavid, Avol Adonai b'nei Elim, Avol Adonai kavod va'oz, Avol Adonai kivod shemo, Yishtachavu l'Adonai behadrat kodesh, Kol Adonai. Adonai
And you can be seated. Wow, it's so good to be home. It's so good to be back. And I truly feel like, wow, Shabbat is just such a gift. Every single week we get this gift of Shabbat to be able to slow down, to be able to really tune in. Here we are so lucky to be able to tune in with such gorgeous music that really certainly feeds my soul, but I think feeds all of our souls. And sometimes even when you're doing other things, like good things, like traveling, for example, it's still so helpful to come back and remind yourself that you have Shabbat. And it's still so helpful to remember that Jews all around the world, in every single part of the world, wherever there are Jews, there are people who are welcoming in Shabbat, and just what a true gift that is. So we are now welcoming in the 4th of Av. This Thursday will be the 9th of Av, Tisha B'Av, the saddest day in the Jewish calendar, where many historical tragedies have happened to the Jewish people across the history of time, including both destructions of the temple. And as part of the past 3 weeks, as part of being in this sort of mourning period between the 17th of Tammuz and the 9th of Av, these mourning weeks between Shabbat Sarva Tammuz, which is the first fast, and then the 9th of Av, we have always started our Lecha Dodi with the same contemplative melody, with this Eli Tzion melody. And one of the beliefs about the 9th of Av is that the 9th of Av is the saddest day in the Jewish calendar, or one of, but it is also the day where Mashiach is said to be born. The Messiah is said to be born on Tisha B'Av, reminding us that even in moments of incredible challenge and sadness, there is still always the opportunity for joy. Or said another way, joy and sadness always coexist next to one another. It is impossible to only have timelines where you're only experiencing total joy and not acknowledging that there's heartbrokenness in the world. It's why we break a glass at a wedding. And it's also impossible to be in a time of total sadness and not acknowledge that there are people who are able to fall in love and have beauty and find each other in this mess of a world that we are in. And so Lecha Dodi, as we sing it, has both of those qualities. We start with the contemplative and sad melody of Eli Tzion, and we lead into a more joyful melody towards the end to remind us that we always have both the opportunity for heartbreak and also the opportunity for heart joy and heart-centeredness, even existing in the same exact day. Page 66, Lecha Dodi.
Shamor v'zachor
good to have that little extra bit of joy, too. That was just so perfect to move from that place of heartbrokenness that I just felt that we could all carry together and then move into that place of incredible joy that we could also feel all together. So, Tov Lehodot Ladonai, page 72. It's really in the same theme, but as I was thinking this week about the wildfires in Canada and how it's affecting so many, and I know that I've shared this poem before, but it just felt so perfect for this moment. The poem is called Yes by William Stafford, and he writes, "It could happen anytime. Tornado, earthquake, Armageddon. It could happen. Or sunshine, love, salvation. It could, you know. That's why we wake and look out. No guarantees in this life. But some bonuses, like morning, like right now, like noon, like evening." Tov Lehodot Ladonai. It is so good to find places still to give thanks. Page 72, Psalm 92. Please rise in body or in spirit for the Baruch Hu on page 78.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed.
You may be seated, and please read quietly to yourselves until the Chatima on page 80.
ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב הרביב.
Page 86.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם מאוד ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
And continue silently through the next two paragraphs.
Adonai Elohechem Emet.
Page 94.
אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
Page 98, Hashkivenu. It's our chance every single evening. Actually, on Friday night services, we say it together, but usually you say the Hashkivenu prayer before you go to bed. And it's actually our chance every single evening to bring a little bit of intentionality into our evening time and to say, look, we don't know what's going to happen next, but what we do know is we probably cannot get through it without your help, God. We need your help to even make it through the night, to even make it to the next morning, to be able to pass through all of the different potential challenges and obstacles that you have for us. Hopefully you also have good things, but we need every night to remind ourselves that there's a little bit of time to say, look, we can't do this alone. We actually need each other, and we need you to help us get through the most challenging parts of our days and weeks. Hashkivenu, page 98. Is also our moment to ask for protection, not just for ourselves, but also others in our country who are suffering, not just our country, our lives, our inner circles, our outer circles, anybody in this world who's suffering right now. This week in particular, I want to, it feels like a broken record at this point, but I want to ask for protection for all those who feel in danger anytime they go out because of ICE immigration agents. Just this past week or so, there was yet another death caused by an ICE immigration officer, Johann Sebastian Guerrero, someone who should not have ever had to have been in that position, and certainly not with his loved ones watching. So I ask for protection, not just for all those who are scared, but for his family, who I'm sure is terrified. And I'd also like to ask for protection for the officer himself, because even though the amount of evil that he was able to commit is truly horrifying, I also want to leave a little bit of room for compassion for his soul, that he can hopefully get the help that he needs so that he does not act out on those violent and evil impulses, I hope, ever again, and that we in this country should not have to be at the mercy of those who should not be in power like that. So I ask for compassion for every single person who is connected to ICE, both the ones who are perpetrating the violence because they need help, and all of us who have to experience the level of fear and frustration as we witness those that we love and care about go through the world in fear. Hashkivenu Adonai, please, we need your protection, God. Please bless over us.
Ufros aleinu sukat shalomecha, Baruch atah Adonai, Haporeh sukat shalom aleinu, V'al kol amo Yisrael, V'al kol ha'amim, V'al Yerushalayim.
And please rise in body or in spirit, page 102, Vishamru.
Shabbat
Just a moment, we will pray the Chatzi Kaddish together on page 104, and then we will go directly into the silent standing prayer, the Amidah, where you'll have the opportunity to use the words in the prayer book, either the words in the Hebrew or the words in the English, to pray through the Amidah prayer, or take the time to use the words that are in your heart and just take a little bit of time to pray, to ask for whatever it is that you need to ask for this evening. Take the time that you need. Page 104.
ויתקדש שמי רבה ילמד יברח ירצה וימליך מלכותי בחייכון ובימיכון ובחייתך בית ישראל מעגלה מעגלה ובזמן דברים וימרו יהי שמרה במבורם לעולם עולם בעלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תמירן בימה וימרו אמן.
ratzon imri fi v'higon libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri v'goali. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be pleasing to you, Adonai, my rock and redeemer. Page 118.
Shabbat Shalom, Eli, if you're still in the building. That was adorable.
Mishaberach imotenu Sarivka Leah Rachel Bilha v'Zilpa v'Avotenu Abraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Hu Yivarech v'Yirapeh Cholim. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless us too. Bless and heal all those who are ill. And please say aloud names now for those you're thinking of for healing prayers. We also ask for healing for Ken Binder, Robert Fink, Frederick Miggins, Richard Ben Rose, Corinne Servilli, Gila Snyder, Talia Shane, Batrina, and Shep Wachnun, as well as any names that were mentioned here or in our live stream. May they be blessed with a full and complete healing, a healing of spirit and a healing of body, together with all those who are ill among the Jewish people and among the world. May those who will not be healed on this earth be blessed with nights free from suffering and days filled with peace. May God grant strength and comfort to those who care for the sick, and may God help us to find hope and courage as we face fear and loss. May all who are ill be surrounded by the love of friends, loving companions, families, and community, and let us say, Amen. Amen. And we turn to the prayer for our country, which I have to find. Thank you.
Page 6 in your program.
Page page 6 in your program. Great. And please join with me the second half of the page. Source of all life, guide our leaders with righteousness, strengthen their hearts, but keep them from hardening, that they may use their influence and authority to speak truth and act for justice. May all who dwell in this country share in its bounty and enjoy its freedoms and be protected by its laws. May this nation use its power and wealth to be a voice for justice, peace, and equality for all who dwell on earth. May we be strong and have courage to be bold in our action and deep in our compassion, to discern when we must listen and when we must act, to uproot bigotry, intolerance, misogyny, racism, discrimination, and violence in all its forms, to celebrate the many faces of God reflected in the wondrous diversity of humanity, to welcome the stranger and the immigrant, and to honor the gifts of those who seek refuge and possibility here as they have since before this nation was born. Let justice well up like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. And let us say, Amen. And Kaddish Shalem is on page 138.
ילמד יברכיותי וימליך מלכותי וחייכון וימיכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה בזמן קריב וימרו יהי שמרה במבורך מעולם עולם ועלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה אלא מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תשבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן ביעלמה ויאמרו. תתקבל צלות ההון ובאות ההון דכל ישראל, קדם אבוהון דבשמיא ויאמרו. יהי שלום רבה מן שמיא, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו. עושה שלום ממרומו, הוא יעשה שלום, עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ועל
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom to both Rabbi James and to Joyce. Thank you so much for such a beautiful service already. And Shabbat Shalom to everybody. So good to see you. So I'm going to start this drasha by being a little bit honest, which is to say that I've just returned from a truly wonderful 2-week vacation where I spent time in Turkey, and then I ended on Martha's Vineyard with dear friends. And I thought that what would happen is that I would come back to Shul and I would feel so rejuvenated and nourished, and I would be so inspired and have so much creativity to draw from and share with the community that I would come back here and tell you all about Turkey and about the food and the culture and the people. But instead, the truth is I feel so nourished that actually I still wish I was a little bit on vacation. So I don't have that much to share about Turkey, but I do want to share a little bit about actually what happened on the way to Turkey. Which is that on the way to Turkey, I had a long stopover in Berlin. And I left the airport and I sort of wandered around Berlin for a few hours. And it was my first time in Germany. And there were actually quite a bit of feelings that came up for me as I was experiencing touching down in Germany and going through Germany for the first time that I sort of want to talk about just a little bit. So the first thing is that when we touched down on the airplane, people began to clap. And I had this visceral reaction, like, no, you cannot do that here. That is reserved for the Holy Land of the Jewish people. And, and you can't do that in Germany, which spent so much of its time exterminating Jews. And I really felt like that extremely deeply. I just want to be clear. My family is not from Germany. My family is from Poland. My family did not go through the Holocaust. Both sides of my family, both my father's side and my mother's side, immigrated here before the 1930s, as many people who live in the States that is true for. But even so, I felt this intense reaction, and then I went through the checkpoint to get out of the airport. You know, the customs agent, they're dressed in their like police clothes, and they're pretty serious, at least in the Berlin airport. Like, it's not like, okay, here's your passport and you go. You actually have to like answer quite a bit of questions about where your final destination is and all that. And it's not mean-spirited in any way, but I had, again, this sort of visceral reaction of my people, my ancestors, also went through these checkpoints in this country. Even though, again, it's not that it was my ancestors, but still I felt like that in this extremely deep way. So after I went through the airport, I, like any good rabbi, what did I do? I went to the area where the Holocaust Memorial, the memorial for the murdered Jews of Europe is. Which, by the way, I only had like 3 hours in Berlin, and I did think it was a little bit funny that that's what I chose to do with my time, but it felt important. But right around the area of that memorial is Tiergarten Park, which I imagine many of you have been to. It's very beautiful, and it actually contains memorials for many other peoples who were exterminated by the Nazis as well, including the very first memorial I saw, which was a memorial for LGBTQ people, which was a very incredible memorial, which I highly recommend that everybody visit. And I felt like when I got into the park and that was the first memorial I saw, I said, okay, I'm home, I'm here. So that, the park itself was so beautiful and really peaceful and sort of a counter to what I had sort of just viscerally experienced on the airplane. And I planted myself at this stone circle. And it's known as the Global Stone Project. It's built by German artist Wolfgang Kracher von Schwarzenfeld, and it's built as a symbol of world peace. And it has these 10 stones that the artist collected, 10 different rocks, large rocks from 5 different continents. And basically he collected pairs of rocks, and one rock from each pair stays in its home continent, and the other is brought to this Tiergarten in Berlin. And on the stones, there is engraved in 5 of the stones a word, one, awakening, hope, forgiveness, love, and peace. And it's not that it's like the most beautiful memorial ever. It's not on the scale of the Holocaust memorial that's there, which is incredibly stunning in its own way. But I felt this real sense of peace and communion with my ancestors. I really felt like I was in that moment, talking with them across time and space, and saying, okay, what do you want from me here in this moment? And I just really sat there for quite a bit of time, just really soaking up both the sunshine and also this feeling of extreme peace. And from there, I then moved to the memorial for the murdered Jews of Europe, which I was mostly just passing by and taking it in. But at the corner, there's a placard that's dedicated to 3 extraordinary women of the time. And the 3 women are Hannah Arendt, Gertrude Kolmar, and Cora Berliner. And all 3 are worthy of deeper exploration. But the one who caught my attention most was Gertrude Kolmar, who was a poet, because I love poetry so much, and so I wanted to learn a little bit more about her. So Gertrude Kolmar came from an assimilated middle-class German Jewish family, and although she was a prolific poet, her work was disappeared by the Nazi regime, and she was ultimately deported to Auschwitz and murdered there. She was a poet who wrote from deep despair and longing for love. She never married. It was thought that she perhaps had some type of affair with a German officer, which resulted in a pregnancy that her family then made her abort. And she writes a lot about unmothered children and losing children. And she turned that longing into her capacity for enduring the inevitable. And she became sort of obsessed with the fate of the Jewish people. She wrote about the larger suffering of the Jews in the 1930s and 40s, before her ultimate death in Auschwitz in 1943. She has a poem which is titled, We Jews, and she writes about the harsh conditions the Jews were experiencing. She writes, "Oh, that I could lift my voice like a flaming torch in the dark desert world and proclaim the ancient cry, justice, justice, justice." On October 26, 1941, she wrote in a letter to her sister, "Believe me, whatever may come, I will not give myself over to unhappiness and despair. I know I have to go the way for which I was destined. So many of us have wandered along this road in the course of centuries. Why should I want to go a different way?" Even at the thought of emigrating, had it still been possible, she pushed away. She wrote again in the same letter, Such emigration would be merely something forced on me by external circumstances. I don't want to flee from what is in my heart I know I must do. Until now, I did not know my inner strength, and recognizing it makes me very happy. So this week we begin the book of Devarim, the first parsha in the book of Devarim, the final book of the Torah, one of my favorite books, and it's one of my favorite books because in many ways this book is about Moses' longing and his coming to terms with the fact that he knows he is not going to get to go into the promised land. And the entirety of the book is really his lament, his soliloquy, if you will, as a leader of the Jewish people who ultimately has to witness his people move on without him, which I felt was not so different from Gertrude Kolmar, who knew she would not be able to rise above the fate set aside for Jews, even as there were others who were able to escape and emigrate. Moshe also has to come to terms with knowing that the people of Israel, that the future of Judaism will go on without him. It begins here in the first parsha of Devarim, where Moshe is telling the people about their collective history and their collective story. That's what we see over the course of this parsha. It's really about everything that came before. That's really the entirety of the book of Devarim, is everything that came before, but this parsha in particular is everything that leads up to him talking about not being able to go into the promised land. So he's telling the people their collective story, their collective history, and the entire time, he's framing the story as what has happened to you. Not what's happened to all of us together, but to you. In chapter 2, verse 7, Moses says, "Indeed, the Lord your God, has blessed you in all of your undertakings. He has watched over your wanderings through this great wilderness. The Lord your God has been with you these past 40 years, and you have lacked nothing." Again, he doesn't say we have lacked nothing, but rather you have lacked nothing. Moses knows that he has to prepare himself, both himself and the people, for a future where they will be separated. He has to prepare them to be ready for the journey without him, and separately he has to prepare himself to turn the other direction and stay behind. So how does one do this? How do we prepare ourselves for heartbreak? Sometimes, as in the case of Gertrude Kolmar and Moshe, we can even see it coming. But sometimes we can't see it coming, and we still know that we have to endure heartbreaks anyways because heartbreak is a part of life. So there's a midrash written about this verse, the one that I just quoted in Devarim, where Moses is telling the people how good they've had it in these 40 years of wandering, which says that Rabbi Yehuda said in the name of Rabbi Eliezer that there are 3 things that a journey does to a person, or 3 things a road does to a person. 1, it wears out our clothes. 2, it causes laughter lines on the body. And 3, it decreases our going out, which is a little bit not entirely clear what that means, but maybe it means it shortens the length of our years, or it decreases our resources, but it decreases our output in some way. What is clear is that a journey wears you down. It takes its toll, sometimes for the better, and sometimes it's excruciating. I imagine that in the 40 years of journeying in the Midbar, in the desert, Bnei Israel had moments of intense wearing out, but also, I hope, that they had moments of laughter lines and joy. In the poem that I quoted before from Gertrude Kolmar, We Jews, she actually begins that poem with the verse, "Only night listens, I love you, I love my people, I want to birth you in my arms, warm and tight." And it feels not so different from the very last verses of the book of Devarim, this lament of Moses, where he says to the people, "Ashrei Yisrael, happy is Israel, who is like you, a people who is delivered by the Lord." Both Moses and Gertrude are headed toward their certain deaths without seeing their dreams fulfilled, and both have to turn their longings and disappointment into love. So I think the question for us becomes, how can we learn to love the journey and not just the destination? Because most of life is the journey. How can we learn that along the way we have to continually fall in love with our life, with our people, with our setbacks and with our failures. I would say it is probably the hardest trial that we are tasked with, and also the most necessary, because we are the ones who got to go on. We are the ones who didn't perish. When I was sitting in that stone circle, trying to commune with my ancestors, asking them what they want from me, the part of the question was, I'm the one who's here, right? I am the one who got to continue onwards. So we are the ones who get to sit at that stone circle in Berlin and try and connect with our ancestors who didn't make it. And we have to learn to say, I love you, my people. I love you, my journey. I love you, my years of wandering and hoping and longing and maybe not getting there. So I want to end with the words of a different poet, Andrea Gibson, a queer and genderqueer poet who spent many years suffering from cancer, also coming to terms with their own dying before they were ready. They wrote a poem entitled Love Letter from the Afterlife. My love, I was so wrong. Dying is the opposite of leaving. When I left my body, I did not go away. The portal of light was not a portal to elsewhere, but a portal to here. I am more here than I ever was before. I am more with you than I ever could have imagined. All three of these poets knew that leaving before they were ready was something that had to be transformed from heartbreaking to meaning-making. And that's the work that we have to engage in as well. All of us will eventually have to move in a different direction than the rest of our people. And we have to find the tools to be able to move from pure heartbreak to a place where we can say something else that Andrea Gibson wrote when they wrote, I suppose I love this life in spite of my clenched fist. So, with the guidance of Moshe, of Gertrude Colmar, and of Andrea Gibson, and of all those that we have loved and lost and had to journey forward without, I hope our ultimate goal is that we can learn to love this life in spite of our clenched fists. Shabbat Shalom. I know, and you thought I was going to do like a really happy drash about... We're on to Aleinu. Please rise in body and in spirit, page 140. Aleinu l'shabeach Adon hakol, latet gedolah yotzei breshit, shara otanu betzalmo, v'nafach banu, et nishmat chayenu, שהעניק אותנו בלימוד תורתו, והקים את may be seated. We turn now to Mourner's Kaddish, where we remember those that we have loved and lost, either in this season or in this season in years past. And this week we are remembering the yortzeit of members Joel Baum, Atman Fronterhouse, Sidney Rosenberg, Esther Rosenblum, Jonathan Sand, Alfred Emmanuel Schwartz, Paul Severino, Joan Simmons, and Joel Yoskowitz, as well as family and friends of members Howard Abrams, Ellen Levin Adler, Rivka Berger, Morgan Dennison, Peter Dennison, Rosalind Dicker, Beatrice Edelson, Ralph Goldblatt, Gertrude Goldstein, Morris Greenberg, Neil Goralnik, Morris Heldeman, William Hess, Ben Joseph, Shirley Katz, Isidore Kleinbaum, Jay Honey LaVista, Sarah Gold Lerman, Jacob Harry Matkovsky, Ann Passman, Judith Rosen, Nathan Rosen, Mildred Rosenblum, and Edith Vader. If you are in mourning or you're observing a yortzeit or it's your custom, please rise in body or in spirit for Mourner's Kaddish on page 150. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, v'alma divrach chirutei, v'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'v'yamechon u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, b'gala u'v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam omei omaya. Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yitalev, v'yitalal, shmei dekudesha, brechu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran v'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom v'imromav, uyasher shalom. Amen. And may the one who makes peace in the heavens bring peace and comfort to all of us who mourn on earth. And let us say, Amen. You may be seated. And for announcements, it's our newly installed Vice President, Liz Cooper.
Hi, everybody. I have to say, it's really fun to sit in a seat that I don't usually sit in. It was really great, Joyce, to watch you play. Oh, sorry. It was wonderful to watch you play instead of just listening. Anyway, thank you for your playing and for the beautiful way in which you uplifted all the prayers that were beautifully chanted, sung by Rabbi James, and for a beautiful service and a really hit the heart drasha, Rabbi Werber. Real deep gratitude to you. Thank you. I want to share my gratitude as well to the wonderful people who ushered people in. I'm assuming Lynn and Sally? Yeah? Everybody. Okay. And I also want to extend my gratitude to Jason Zivic and for connecting us to everyone who is here online. Tomorrow morning, Shabbat services begin at 10 a.m., egalitarian service right here and on Zoom. Cantor Rosen will lead the service as the Ba'alat Tefillah, along with the wonderful CBS team member Larry Kay. The Devar will be given by CBS team member David Feinberg. Havdalah, which is online only, will be at 9 p.m. Some additional announcements. You know, last time I gave announcements, it was Pride, and I thought, well, we have so many announcements because it's Pride. We just are this incredible, incredible community. So I will zip quickly through as much as I can all of the wonderful things going on here in the coming week or so. First, and most important maybe, if you have thought about joining the CBST chorus, please get in touch with Joyce Rosenzweig or Cantor Rosen or Erwin Krute. Erwin's not here tonight. But many of you know him. He's tall, and he's the manager of the chorus, and just ask anyone. Anyway, if you want more information, please follow up with any of these people. On Monday, July 20th at 5 p.m., please join Mishpacha in conversation with Diane Berheni, who's sitting in the back row over here. Diane is a long-term member of CBST and a practicing clinical psychologist. These conversations are really wonderful, and even if you think you know someone, it's a really nice way to get to know them better. If you love classic movies, we have 2 opportunities for you to join in via Zoom. This coming Monday, we can watch Field of Dreams together. And next Monday, we can join all together to watch Hester Street, both of them at 7 p.m. This coming Wednesday, July 22nd, we hope you'll join us for Tisha B'Av to commemorate the destruction of the temple and other tragedies in Jewish history. We will be in the candlelit wine sanctuary and online starting at 8:30 p.m. with a reciting of Echa, or Lamentations. We hope you'll come back the next day at 7 p.m. if it's your practice to wrap tefillin, or if you would like to learn to do so, courtesy of Rabbi James. Mincha otherwise begins at 7:30, followed by Mariv, and then a full Kiddush breakfast. The following week, Wednesday, July 29th, now this is really very cool. We are having our first ever summer night get-together, member get-together, at Pier 63 in Hudson River Park. We're calling this inaugural event Summer Loving, in recognition of Tu B'Av, the Jewish Day of Love, which is actually that day. We're instructed to bring blankets, food that you might want to share, instruments, games, basically a fun evening to just hang out together. We ask that you register. It's not mandatory, but please register. In case you think we may have forgotten the kids, we have not. There are two really great programs coming up. Saturday, July 25th, which is next Saturday, from 10 a.m. to 12:30. Rainbow Tots, ages 0 to 5, and Limud learners, ages 6 to 10, and their grown-ups are invited to Shabbat in Central Park with honey tasting and shofar blasting. Makes me just want to be a kid all over again. On Sunday, August 9th, because I know parents have to plan in advance, also from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., we hope that all kids ages 0 to 10 and their grown-ups will join us at the Brooklyn Museum for Family Fun Day. Of course, more information and links to register are in the e-news. So, picking up a phrase from my little niece, who is now about to be 23 years old, if you have ever been a little bit, or as she used to say, a lot of bit, interested in silent meditation, please join us for Shabbat Sits next Friday, the 24th of July at 5:30 p.m., the hour before Kabbalat Shabbat. And next Sunday, the 26th, we hope you'll join Lador Vardor and Rabbi David Litzer at the Jewish Museum for a tour of identity, culture, and community, stories from the collection of the Jewish Museum. Tickets are $20, and not surprisingly, you can register through the link in the e-news. You will find more information in the e-news about living successfully with HIV and AIDS, the ARC at CBST, Connecting a Community, which is our lay-led Torah study group, and so much more. I encourage you to please check it out and click on all the links and register for all the things you want to do. Not surprisingly, it is July and it remains member renewal season. So please, I encourage you, if you have not yet done so, to renew your membership, especially if you do so on an annual basis, and also to consider shifting to a monthly continuing membership. It's better for the shul, and it might even be better for you as well. Regardless of how you renew, please consider increasing your donation to help strengthen all of the wonderful programming and wonderful clergy that we have here. If you're not yet a member, or if you're interested in exploring membership, you can speak with Ruth Kleiman, who's in the back of the sanctuary, or myself, or anyone else who are wearing any of these little tags, because it means that we're on the board, and we'd be happy to talk to you. That's it, and wish you all Shabbat Shalom.
Yasher koach, Liz. Thank you. We will conclude with Kiddush. So please rise in body and in spirit, and page 156.
השמיים והארץ בכל צבאם, ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישפוט ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה, ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי, ויקדש אותו, כי ראש שבת מכל מלאכתו, אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. סברי חברי מותי, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצה בנו, בשבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי אנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת עם כל העמים, בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. אמן.
Oh, thank you. So good. All right. Don't eat motzi yet. Tonight's live stream is underwritten by Alton Bader, who has generously and consistently supported CBS TV's live stream. Also, Jay Fisher and Michael Lerman, who can generously support CBS TV's live stream, and Linda Solomon and Bonnie Siegel, who are pleased to support tonight's live stream. And tonight's oneg is supported by Larry Finkelstein, who is going to be providing rugelach for the oneg on Friday night in memory of his mother, Harriet Finkelstein, on her 12th yortzeit. And also by Diane Hess for William Hess, who's her father, on his 8th yortzeit. Thank you, Eric. And I'd like to invite up Cantor Jonathan Commissar to come and hold the chalot for us, because it's so nice to see you post your sabbatical. Oh my goodness, and it's his birthday? Oh my goodness. All right, well, come up and hold the challah then.
And in CBST tradition, we're going to try to all get connected with consent. And those of you who are on the live stream staying cool, join us too. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.